Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're playing another game of Total War Warhammer. I'm the Strategy Professor, and we're going to be doing a legendary Chaos campaign this time. So let's go ahead and get in here. We'll do a new campaign. Now, people have been asking me to do a Chaos campaign for months and months and months. And I've just had so many different campaigns going on that I just haven't done it. And frankly, there's still a lot that I need to close up. But they have made changes to Chaos, buffing them a little bit over time. I still think they're one of the most challenging factions to play. They're very, very underpowered. They're still the only faction that has a hard initial challenge, I think. Yeah. Actually, these do. Crooked Moon. Okay. And I do like this campaign. It's a lot of fun. But I went ahead and looked it over. I'm still not sure if there's enough buffs. The problem is, well, I'll show you when I get in there. We're going to do Archaon. I know a lot of people do Archaon. And I would like to do the other ones, but it's just so, he's just so much better than everybody else because of his bonuses. Campaign movement range, upkeep, and you'll see when we get in there that he gets a plus 25% sacking bonus on everything, which is just tremendous because that's one of the only ways that you get money is by sacking in the game. So, yes, you really, really have to run him, I think, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and start the campaign. I'm going to skip it. You can go watch the intro on YouTube or something if you want. It is a cool intro, but at this point, I think most people have probably seen it. I don't want to waste too much time on the first episode. Usually the first episodes take a little while because I explain a lot of the mechanics and a lot of the strategies behind playing different factions. And this will be fun because we'll get to go against the Elves, and we'll get to go against the Beastmen and all these other factions that weren't around.
You are the ever-chosen.
When I first got the game, of course. Alright, so it's a Horde faction. If you've never played a Horde faction, how that works is you just have an army that runs around. You can't occupy towns. All you do are burn things, and you take your buildings with you. So the Beastmen work like this. The Elves are kind of a hybrid between Horde and taking towns. They're a bit different, but the Beastmen are very similar. I had seen in the Grand Campaign on Elves that now there are Beastmen that spawn. Beastmen that spawn with the Elves. Or with the with Chaos, when Chaos spawns now. And I was like, oh cool, is there like a Beastman legendary lord or something you can use with Chaos? And I didn't see it. So I got excited and I was like, oh, but it's okay, we'll do it. So why I haven't done Chaos in a long time is it's very, very annoying early on to have to fight skirmishing cavalry. So pistoliers, marauders, all that stuff, because you don't have missile infantry. So historically, you know, with other factions, if you have bowmen or crossbowmen or whatever, missile infantry, then those just completely trounce things like pistoliers and marauders. But you don't have that. You have no missile infantry other than marauders. And so a lot of these early Chaos fights, because the other tribes are going to come for me, scaling and all of them are going to come for me eventually, it's just straight up marauder on marauder. Now what I might actually try this time is if I can get things with silver shields like Chaos Warriors, that I might just be able to face tank the Marauder Horsemen, because silver shields plus a lot of armor means they're not going to be doing that much damage. So I might just speed it up when we fight those and just wait for them to run out of ammo, because they don't have that much ammo, honestly. They've only got 18 ammo. So if we can just sit there and just face tank them, that's probably the best course of action. Because on Legendary, they're going to have a lot more and have a lot better stats than you all around the board. So I could run Marauder on Marauder, but they're going to beat me heads up one-on-one. And it's just very frustrating for these things to run around. So, you know, and technically you should be able to run them down with Chaos Warhounds because you're faster than they are by, how much? It's not by a lot, but like 3 movement speed. But realistically, it just doesn't happen. You can't get your attack animations off. So, the Chosen are extremely expensive too. But you're going to need those to hack through dwarves probably at some point. So these things are pretty good meat shields. They have a lot of health, they have silver shields, and they have a lot of armor. So I think Chaos Warriors are kind of where I want to be. And you also get the discount on them. There's the sacking bonus, and then of course his racial is you get a discount on Chaos Warriors, Aspiring Champions, and Chaos Knights. Not Chosen, which is important to note. You do not get the bonus on Chosen, but you do get it on Chaos Warriors, so it does save you a little bit of an upkeep. The other Legendary Lords are okay, but let me just show you the building tree here really quick, and you'll kind of see why I chose him. So getting the extra growth from Sigvald is nice, and the extra corruption is nice. but he doesn't give any upkeep cost reduction. So because you don't have towns, your income is almost always going to be negative, and you have to keep sacking and burning to keep up. So the only way that you can really control costs, and this is similar to the Beastman, is you have to get cost reduction. That's why it's so important that he has 10% reduction on Chaos Warriors and Chaos Knights. And as you level up, you get upkeep reduction for all units. So if we get to like level 4, where we probably want to get to pretty quickly to get the Chaos Knights, you can see it's 18% here. And then his passive gives you 10%, that's 28%. And then this gives you another 15%, so that's 43%. So that makes them a lot more manageable. Now, that actually does give you income. I don't even remember that. Maybe they changed that. But this actually does give you income, which is pretty nice. Now, not a lot, but a little bit. And it's that way for all of these specialty buildings. So basically, you have to choose what you want to specialize in as the Chaos, because you're not going to have a lot of different options. And unlike the Beastmen, where you can trade units around and come up with these nice solid factions, on this you're really disincentivized from swapping units around. So if you have a faction, if you get one of your lords to build giants and you want to hand over giants to your other lords, it's going to be very inefficient because you're not going to get that 30% upkeep reduction. So they really incentivize you to specialize, and you're not going to have a super diverse army most of the time, which is sad. So there are a few different routes we could go. So of course going Chaos Warriors, and I want to go Feral Manticores because they look like a lot of fun, and they're really effective cost-wise. This is also where you get your wizards, who can be very effective. But, I mean, the Forsaken are very good. So here's some of the problems. Let me show you some of the problems with Chaos. Okay, first let's look at the skills. Why? So it makes, like, tough decisions. So these, like the magic and the solo fighting, not usually where I would go. I mean, they're okay, but their magic's pretty underpowered in the game. It can be good, like especially fire magic can be particularly good against things like the elves and regenerating like undead units and things like that. But for the most part, like direct damage magic is pretty uninspiring. Buff magic, things that give you, you know, extra attack and stuff like that is good. Like this cascading fire looks like it would be good, but it doesn't overcast. It only affects one unit. And you really want to be casting spells that hit a bunch of different units, like Sneaky Stabbing or various regeneration effects that can hit multiple units. Okay, so this does hit a bunch of people, and it gives you plus 22% weapon damage, which is good. It gives you fire damage, which is nice, once again, for hacking through regenerating things. That's bad. So their magic is pretty weak. Their other kind of magic they can get is magic of death, which is also pretty bad. I mean, you can use like Spirit Leech. It's a lot of direct damage stuff and like fear type of things, but they don't have regeneration. There's no regeneration magic, and there's not any heavy hitting melee combat magic like the little Wah has with Sneaky Stabbing and Itchy Nuisance. So their magic's pretty underwhelming. Their one-on-one combat here is pretty underwhelming. He has an okay mount, I guess. He can get at level 9, but he can't get any higher than that. I think the other lords can get up to flying dragons, I think, at some points. Okay, and his specialty stuff is pretty bad, honestly. I mean, I'm not trying to be too negative about it, but compared to other factions, Chaos are very, very underpowered for the most part. So here's part of why. So when you go through, you get 14 armor for chariots. It doesn't matter that much. And why is it here instead of like a tier 3? This is good. Melee attack from Marauders, Chaos Warriors, and Inspiring Champions. Okay, so your Chaos Warriors get buffed up. They get, you know, charge bonus and melee attack. That's good. This is actually really good. Vigor loss reduction. It'll help keep your units fresh. They do wear a lot of armor, so they get tired quickly. Plus 12 and plus 10% charge bonus is good. I hope that's bugged, kind of like with the greenskins where it's a flat 10, because percentage on charge bonus is awful. And melee attack, that's okay. That's alright. I mean, your units in general have pretty good leadership. Aura range is kind of whatever, and like Why? Why is it just this unit? That's what I want to know. Like, Legion of Doom, it's only chosen units. Like, I understand that they're powerful, but... Sorry, I bumped the desk there. I understand that they're powerful, but seriously, you can't say, like, plus for chosen units and trolls, or plus this and giants, or just anybody. So, I don't know. And then this... For War Beasts, Monstrous Infantry, and Giants. Okay, so that's basically everything that's not Chaos Warriors and is not chosen. I mean, I feel like that should be combined with this one, but they're separate. I don't know, we'll see. And then that's just terrible down there. So, you know, where we want to go in the early games, you go Root Marcher, and then you go Serve or Die. Well, actually, not Serve or Die. That's pretty bad. That's really good. Despoilers is good. Tribes of Chaos, that's where you want to go. You want to get your Horde growth. I'll show you that here in a second, how that works. Unholy Presence. So you need to get to Lightning Strike, like ASAP. You're not going to have a lot of armies. You just can't afford it as a Horde faction. So it's vitally important that you get Lightning Strike as soon as humanly possible. You need to rush that really, really fast, because they're going to stack up like multiple dwarves or multiple humans or whatever, and you're going to have to fight it out. Horde growth and unit experience is pretty good. Or Horde recruitment, rather, and unit experience. And corruption's pretty good. Because corruption's going to determine a lot of how much you regenerate in a province. And so you really want to get a lot of corruption there. The public order doesn't matter, because when you're on legendary, they get huge buffs to public order, so they don't care. But it will let you regenerate faster and keep moving more. So that's what you want to get. So we're going to go for Serve or Die, probably Despoilers. We're going to get over, or not Serve, Despoilers, Tribes of Chaos, Lightning Strike, ASAP. And we might get some of this stuff. I mean, we'll have to get this eventually. So that's where we're going there. As far as the techs go, you get to move up as much as you want, but it gets extremely expensive. So 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 for some of these things. So we're probably only going to be able to get to tier 3 anytime in the near future. So we want income from sacking and post-battle loot income. You want anything that gives you money, because once again, you have no basic income. You get all your money from sacking, looting, and just winning battles. That's okay. That's what you'll want right there. And then down here is when you start getting buffs. You'll notice a lot of them are now weapons. 10% weapon strength for Forsaken is okay, but their buffs for their techs are just really, really lackluster compared to a lot of other factions. Trolls are not worth getting. They're just a standalone unit. I don't know why they're standalone. Like, put them with the Forsaken. Like, just make a beast group. They wouldn't be overpowered still. It would just make, like, a viable path. Okay, you can go for monstrous things if you want. Or chaos, like warrior, like tough infantry, or cavalry. Like, why not put all the beast stuff together? I'll show you what I mean a little bit more here in a second. Okay, so you want the loot. So this, and then it starts getting, I mean, this is okay, but for 20,000, stuff better start getting real good. And, like, seriously, 20,000 for +5 melee defense? That's sad. Campaign movement range, that's really good. And a little bit of replenishment, but... And this is kind of underpowered. So, you don't even get anything for beasts until Herald of Doom. That's where you start getting some Feral Manticore stuff, some giant stuff. Recruitment cost, and that's a 40,000 gold ticket, so you're just not going to see that. So most of the techs you can upgrade are for Chaos Warriors that are reasonable. I think that's right here. You start getting some Chaos Warrior stuff, yeah. So those are okay. Although right there it gives you some for Spawn, Forsaken. That's not bad for the spawns. The trolls are bad. Okay, so that's the text. I'm just thinking, like, I mean, yeah, why are trolls their own thing? Like, why not just... That's what they need with this tree, because there's just too much random stuff here. Like, just consolidate this. Like, I could understand the Dragon Ogres being their own separate thing, but seriously, just put the trolls over here with the other beasts at tier 3. Move the giant over here to this one, and that would make it a lot more balanced. Really? An entire extra building only for Minus 8% upkeep. That's really weak. Yeah, and these should be somewhere else. I don't know. But like right now, because how it works is every building that you control, the next one costs even more. So that's why this costs 5 right now. Is because we control this building. If we remove this building, which I've heard people talk about that strategy, I might consider it if I want to go for just like more Chaos Warriors early on. They're expensive, but with those silver shields, that's going to let me face tank the Marauder units. Although I won't have any flank units for quite a while if I do that. That does give you Horde recruitment, which is nice, and Exalted Hero ranks. Like, the problem is, if I delete this, and some people have suggested you just get rid of the Marauder units because they're garbage, and then that frees up a growth. So this would only cost 4, I think, and then this would only cost 1. And that would let you get Chaos Warriors really early. I do have upkeep reduction on them. It's like, do I want to give up the Warhounds? I guess so, and then I'll just have like an all melee group, and I'm just going to have to flank around. Either way, you have choices. You can only really viably afford like 2, maybe 3 of these. The Chaos Spawn do deal a lot of damage. They have really low melee attack and defense though, and there's nothing you can do to boost those up, as you can see. Like, if you go far into the tree, you can get the plus 12 melee attack, and that's good. But like, some of these bonuses are just so weak compared to other things. Like, they are unbreakable, which is good. Now, Flying Manticores do look really good. I mean, they have a nice charge bonus, they're flying. Like, if Chaos had some kind of regeneration magic, they would be so strong. Because they had these huge monsters, you know, like giants and ogres, or if they had really high replenishment, or, you know, just something to help them keep rolling, but they don't have a lot of that stuff. I wish these were some kind of like actual like horses that could charge and fight, but they're just more of these missile horses that just get torn up by any kind of archers. It's really hard to use them tactically effective, in an effective way, I should say, on the battlefield. So I guess we're going to go for Marauders, and this will let us get just a bunch of different variations of Chaos Warriors, and then we need to get up here and get the get these. Now, once you start getting Chaos Knights, these are very, very strong cavalry. Now, they're not going to be as big and bad as something like Demigryphs. So they just get outclassed at every position. Like, I think Forsaken might, in theory, be the strongest melee in the game, but there just aren't enough upgrades. Like, other factions will upgrade and get bigger, badder stuff. Like, the Chaos just aren't the best at anything, is what I feel like. I mean, maybe I'm wrong there, but I feel like their cavalry is going to get outclassed by Demigryphs and, you know, Knights of the Realm, Grail Knights, Blood Knights. I mean, so they are good. They are good. They are going to be a lot cheaper though, so I can run a lot of them potentially down the line. Giants are okay. They just get focus fire. They're just like a pinata. I mean, the Gore Beasts are something I could consider. Now, once again, these can't deal with missile infantry, but they can go through and mow down. They're particularly good against armored things, armored infantry like dwarves. They're really good against that. Hell cannons, Gorby's chariots. That's a pretty good chariot. I mean, 100 armor. What's their bonus to infantry? 22. There's only 4 of them in a stack, but they have such a huge charge bonus. I mean, I guess the Chaos do have massive charge bonuses on a lot of their stuff. Not these guys, but... The Shaggoth Ogres are actually really cool, and I have done a build where I rush them, but they're so expensive now. So expensive. They're 450 gold, or 450, I'll just call it gold throughout the campaign, but it's called favor. 450 gold. I mean, they do have really good weapon strength. Plus 18, 100 damage. The melee attack's pretty low though, their charge is okay, but they have a ton of health. So these would just be perfect if I just had some kind of regeneration. But either way, I think we're going to rush Chaos Warriors, and we're just going to face tank any kind of Marauders with those silver shields, and we're probably just going to sell this. Even though these are a lot cheaper, They're just garbage. I'd rather have these. They are much stronger. I mean, 34, 28 is okay. That's, you know, like these guys can take a beating. They're the meat. We need some potatoes or something in here. Like we need something we can flank around and just cause some disruption with. I mean, maybe that is the Gorby's Chariot. I don't know. Maybe we should just rush Manticores. I mean, they're very cheap. 250 is very, very cheap, especially with all these upkeep reductions. These spawns are pretty good against non-armored things in combat. They're just really bad against missile units. These Forsaken are excellent. I mean, they are really, really good at fighting. They just don't have a lot of buffs, but like nothing buffs the Forsaken. Unless they might count as monstrous infantry. It says they're sword infantry. Let's see this. Monstrous infantry and giants. Do they count as monstrous infantry? I don't know. We can find out. But, I mean, that's an interesting... I need to decide what I want to do. So I can only have 3 buildings, and I do want unit diversity. That's a fun part of the battle and strategy, I think, is unit diversity. We can only get 3 things. So giants are out of the question. Ogres are out of the question. I want them. They're just way too expensive for what they are. Like, they just don't hit hard enough. They have no shield. They have low armor. I mean, they're cool. I have run a campaign with them with the Dragon Ogre guy, and we will get him. We might buy, just for funsies, if we get ahead, we can get an army of these later on. But they seem ineffective. So that's out, that's out. I can't afford horde growth on this. It's just not enough benefit. Maybe down the line. And these aren't worth getting. Trolls are out. So I have to decide if I want these. I think I definitely want these, because I need those silver shields for the tactics I just described. And these are very powerful, and that's a racial bonus that I get, is a huge upkeep reduction to them. And that gives me exalted heroes, which are okay. And the question becomes then, do I go for Forsaken? And I can kind of use these. I mean, these are kind of fast. Like, I can use these to flank around as just kind of like a poor man's cavalry early on to get into the back line and just tear people up. I mean, there's 80 of them in a stack. They have 34 melee attack. Now, they've nerfed these, I think, several times, because they were very, very good in multiplayer. But they have, their Frenzy is plus 12% weapon damage, 8 charge, and 8 melee. They have really nice charge. There's 80 in a stack. That's what you have to keep in mind. Like, a lot of things that deal 58 damage, like, what do these deal? These deal 86, but there's only 12 in a stack. Like, you know, 80 is almost 7 times as many. It's like 6.5 times as many. So, you know, and these deal like half the damage. So they're very, very cost effective. And they're pretty cheap. Now, I don't get cost reduction on them, so I can't get a lot of them. But I need speed. Now, the other option is to go for these, which are a bit more shock cavalry, but they don't build into anything that useful. I mean, the hell cannons, they are good. I don't use a lot of missile stuff. I don't use a lot of artillery in a lot of my campaigns. It's okay. I just prefer just your standard flank and spank kind of tactics. It's okay. I mean, the Gore Beast is okay too. But I feel like this offers a bit more diversity, because I get magic users, even though I just said a lot of them are garbage, there's something. Like, you know, I want to have them in an army. Maybe. I don't know. I can at least put them on the campaign map and have them just spread chaos or just do something. I can find a use for them. And that would let me get to these Feral Manticore and these Chaos Spawn, which would be some nice spice just to throw in there. That would give me some early game play at level 3, or I could just try to rush straight to Chaos Knights, who are very powerful, but they aren't flying. Like, when I'm sieging towns, like, flying units are so good at sieging towns. They're just crucial. Normal cavalry is garbage in a siege, usually. but flying units are very, very good. And Chaos Spawn are... Those can't knock down doors, are you kidding me? They don't have the siege trait? These don't either? Oh my god. Sieging's gonna be a nightmare. Does anybody have a siege trait here? Like, literally, does any unit in the Chaos roster have the Sieger trait? Okay, they do. This is what I'm looking for, this thing right here. That means you can attack on the very first turn, and you don't have to wait for war machines. That sucks. You can't get that until level 4? Does this have siege? This, of course, does, because it's... Wow, that sucks. Sieging's gonna suck. He doesn't have it? I'm shocked none of these monstrous units have that. Like the tree people have that. I'm pretty sure the Crypt Horrors have it. Like there's a lot of units that have that. Dang. Well, maybe I need to go for this just so I can actually siege anything. Whatever, we'll figure it out. But yeah, we're probably going to go some combination of Chaos Warriors plus one of these things. I think I like these as kind of a poor man's cavalry until I get to these, and then I can combine and get these Feral Manticores after that, because that's still pretty aggressively costed. Okay. And then I need to hire another another army probably at some point soon. Or I could just go just one massive army here and just power tech. There's different strategies. If I get Lightning Striker, it might be worth it just to fund one just Death Ball army. At least for a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead. Sorry, I know it's a lot of preamble. I don't do that every episode. It's just the first one. Let me double check here. I think it's the first one. I just like to talk about a lot of the strategic elements that... Let me just see how we look on time here. I do want to get into a good fight on the first episode if I can. Okay, we're doing okay. I'd like for each episode to be about an hour. So yeah, I won't go into all of that, and there's not going to be any city management, so it's going to be a pretty fast-moving campaign. I just like to... That's something that I do on this channel that I think a lot of channels don't do, is describe the strategic elements so that you can play your own game and really have a lot more fun with it yourself. So it's not just me just talking. It's... Okay, let's go ahead and horde growth. We'll hire some dogs, and we'll see if we can keep the dogs alive. Get rid of that, and then we're gonna buy the warriors here in a second. Now, I don't think I want to recruit a second ward. Like I said, people recommend that. But I think I'm gonna go for just teching up faster. Just getting that horde growth going, just making Archaon, just have a powerhouse army and going for Lightning Strike early. Instead of splitting up my forces, because I really can't afford 2 armies early on either. Alright, we'll go ahead and get that going. Oh, not Lord, not Hero. Where are units? Okay, here we go. Sorry, it's been a little minute here. Okay, here we go. And dogs are kind of expensive, but I already have 2 dogs. I want to keep the Chaos Spawn. It's kind of my flanking units. Okay, those are good. These are extremely expensive for what they are. I mean, they are powerful. I know some streamers will get rid of them. I think I'm going to keep them, though, especially because I'm going I'm going to try the 1 Death Ball strategy here. Alright, let's look. Now, you can't do business with a lot of people. I'm number 2. Who's number 1? Beastman? Now, Red Eye will sometimes do business with us. In the past, they have, but they may have changed it.
Or I'll take your tongue.
I could buy a war against Kraka Drak. I don't think so, though. Let me see if they'll do a non-aggression with us. See if they'll give us some money for that. Just anything. Because they're going to get wiped out. I'm just trying to see if I can get some money. No. So I could go to war with their enemy and pick up like 300 gold, but sometimes they really will send people across the entire map to come fight you, and a lot of people will. So I don't need any extra help getting some aggression down here. Okay, so I think that's it. So we're wiping out that building. We'll hire... I'm hiring a couple of things, right? I think... Did I hire the dogs or did I just chill on it? I need to hire at least a couple of things here. I don't know. My upkeep's... I'll split the difference. I'll get one dog. Okay. And I think that's it. The objective is just going to be to burn the whole map. I mean, it says specifically to kill the Dwarves, Empire, and one other faction. We're just going to try to kill everybody. Alright, we got Path to Ruination. We want... come from Sacks. Sacks is going to be more than looting early on. Okay, see how they lowered that cost to 2? It costs 2 more every time you have another building. Need 3,200. I mean, I could skip straight to Forsaken if I wanted to rush them. But I need something with shields, honestly. And this will lower the upkeep by quite a lot. Yeah, I think I need shields. Now, how fast do these guys move? They don't move very fast at all. Now, they are very strong individually. They're basically chosen. But there's just a small stack of them. And they're very cheap, though. So this is 338 for a stack of 80. This is 110 for a stack of 16. And they don't have as much health. But per unit, they have a decent amount of health. So I don't know. I haven't tried them out yet. They're okay. They do have silver shields, which is good. And they do get the bonuses from the first stuff, I think. Let me see. They do get the cheap bonuses. Well, there we go, there we go. I think they get this bonus, right? Yeah. So I might roll with Aspiring Champions. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go ahead and attack this. I'm probably going to auto-resolve. I don't auto-resolve a lot in this campaign. But I just want to move forward, and this is basically just going to be me fast-forwarding until these things run out of ammo here, and just getting these guys to face-tank them. So, I don't want to abuse auto-resolve, and I don't want to sit here and sack the same place over and over and over again to gain a bunch of extra levels. I think that's kind of cheesy. I mean, Chaos is really hard to begin with, so maybe that's what you have to do, but I'm going to try to not do that. I'm just going to go for sack and convert, or sack and burn. Okay, so we're just going to auto-resolve it. I'm going to slaughter them. It's just going to save us 15 minutes of our time. And I'll try to get to a real battle this episode. Hopefully we can. Okay, good. Yeah, we're going to sack. So we need money. Then we'll awaken the tribe here in a second. Now, awakening the tribe makes them, I think, into allies of yours. I don't remember if they're military or not. But they will give you, they are not vassals of you, so you don't get money off of them, which is really annoying. But they will help defend if other units come down here and start messing. So I think you want to awaken the tribes. I've thought about just burning them in the past, but if you awaken them, it also gives you access to Sigvald, eventually, one of your other legendary lords. So like I said, we're going Root Marcher. And we're going to this as fast as possible. And we need to get lucky. There's a follower you can get too that will also give you +2 horde growth. Alright, let's go ahead and awaken that tribe. Alright. We're gonna run forward here. I think. How much move speed do we have left? Yeah, we don't have enough to build any buildings, so we're just gonna run forward. I think I want to go ahead and sack and maybe burn Volksgrad. Now you can't ambush, which kind of sucks. It's one. I think it's the only faction that can't ambush, so you can't hide. So I'm just gonna have to come up here, sack, burn, and then run back down here in a second. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to do. Can't build any units because you have to save like 25% of your movement speed, and you can't have attacked anything on a turn if you want to build buildings. Now they like us actually, so I think they like us. So I can see they are military alliance, yeah. So I'm gonna see if they'll give us some cash.
My tribe is open to your offer. Do not disappoint them.
Now they aren't at war with the same people we're at war with, but see if they'll just give us some money. A lot of times they won't do it. Later on, we'll see if they will. Now what is... I should have been looking at diplomacy with Varg or scaling. I can confederate with them.
Speak, you craven! I'm touched by the eagle and the crow. I perceive all, and I see.
Interesting. Yeah, they come at you and fight you. Usually in the grand campaign, they ally up whenever the enemy has Varg and scaling. Or like the chaos in the campaign gets to ally up with them, but they don't do that in the when you play it. It's a lot harder. Alright, let's do this. Now, there are very, very dangerous armies running around up here. I'm just trying to pick at stuff as much as I can. Now, I wish I could hide, but you can't ambush. If I could like hide in a forest and wait for someone to come repopulate the city after I burn it, that would be awesome. No followers yet. Oh, you can't burn on the same turn. It's annoying. Dang it, I should have just made that... that's easy to remember, because there are some factions that will, like for instance the elves, you can sack and then raise on the same turn. Or you can raise and then occupy on the same turn, which I guess is slightly different, but... Okay, we'll go ahead and go to the next turn then. So that was a mistake. I could have built a building there to lower my upkeep. Something I probably need to do. So that could be a pretty costly mistake, we'll see. So I'm gonna get a little bit more gold here. How many eyes? Okay. Oh, that's pretty good actually. I've never seen that item before. Yeah, so we're gonna raise it. It gives you +4 horde growth, which is good. After you burn, you can't move at all, even if you're just standing perfectly still, so... Yeah, it won't let me do anything. But usually you only get +1 per turn. And then you get 2 off of your abilities and all that good stuff. So right now I'm getting +3. That's why it's so important to level it up. So you can power level techs really fast if you only have one lord that you're leveling up and doing a lot of the burning. That's kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to level up and just get a lightning strike baller lord here. And hope it's enough. I think going the Forsaken Manticore route is probably something I'm interested in. Alright, let me go down here and... Gonna give me enough movement? Okay. Like I said, I should have done this 2 turns ago, so that sucks because I've lost about 400 gold off of not doing it. because it's 200 per turn, I would get a 10% discount, blah, blah, blah. You can't go back, though, so we just have to spot them that advantage. Oh, this is interesting. So do I go for this? This gives extra growth. It would let me rush straight to Forsaken if I want to. That would be better against dwarves. These would be great against dwarves, actually. I don't know. I mean, the hell cannons are very good against dwarves, too. I wonder if I should go hell cannon over... Now, those are only 270. And get 30% discount. Decisions. I mean, armored trolls... They have such poor leadership, though. That's the problem. But they do a lot of damage to dwarves, and they do regenerate. So if I want to fight dwarves, maybe I go for these armored trolls. It's just such a dead-end tech, though. That's the problem. And it costs 3. This would give me extra growth and an extra 5%. Or I can go for these. I'd have 3, and that would get, well, I would have to upgrade it anyways. I'm going to get it in 1 turn anyways. It doesn't. I'm going to get both of these. Okay, so I'll just go with this one, so that's going to save me more this turn. More corruption, 1 more growth. Whatever, I'll get this because I want 1 more growth faster. And then next turn, we'll either grab this or we'll think of grabbing one of these. We'll think about it. Because these are nice, like I said, for face tanking. But I still have some in my army right now. So I'm thinking these might be better. I'll think about it. Saving the money is obviously really good, but I already have enough to... It doesn't take a lot to face tank those archer things, the Marauder Horsemen. I can just put these in front of them. Then I can use the Forsaken as my, like I said, my kind of fast cavalry to get around. These are pretty fast too. And of course that would let me get to the flying units faster. Okay, let's see if they want to mess with us yet.
You seek a pact with... You wish the wrath of the North.
Those things, like the Forsaken, beat the daylights out of any kind of other early game infantry units because they're not large. And they just are really, really strong. At least early on, so it'll beat up your standard swordsmen and spearmen that I'm going to be seeing from a lot of the other units. Although they don't have shields, they do have decent armor. Okay, so they don't want to deal with us. Let's see if they'll give us some... Give us a little payment here. Okay, maybe eventually. They're getting started. They're getting started. Now, they might actually come up and start occupying things that I have occupied, which could be cool. Okay, that's what we'll do. I haven't tried a Forsaken rush. It used to suck because... Like, Forsaken didn't get upgrades, and the Chaos whatever guys were okay, but they weren't the best in town. I mean, if I get this, that will let me get an Exalted Hero, which is probably useful. I don't exactly remember what all they have. What do they have anyways? Let me see real quickly. Gore Beasts, like I said, are another one that I might be interested in. Okay, so they can get a Manticore. They have Exemplar, which sucks. Drill Master's good. One of these is good, and one of them sucks. I think Exemplar might be the good one. That's like you get +1 level per rank. Defender. Okay, so they just kind of fight, and they have Manticores. Yeah, they don't have any good auras. They just kind of standard, just sort of suck. I mean, they're alright. What about these guys? They can get Manticores. Yep, just your standard magic user. Those aren't that. And what's proponent? Okay, that's okay. Horde, that's okay actually. The horde building cost reduction. What do these normal hordes do? Let me see. Okay, this is what I want. Okay, so they can get dragons, and they have your standard sort of run up the middle stuff, your standard blue stuff. What is Doomfire? Okay, they have artillery upgrades. Oh, that's in the middle tree. Duh, okay. So they have the middle tree, they have the bottom tree, and then they have this stuff. And they can ride dragons. Okay. What's serve or die? Okay, okay. Yeah, so they have magic. They don't have any special things up at the top, it looks like, that are anything special. Standard die, yeah. Okay, so pretty standard, and they can ride Chaos Dragons. That's good. Now what about, that's the Sorcerer. What's the Lord all about here? Okay, he can ride a dragon. Same stuff. He just has where he can just fight, and he can't cast spells. So, and he might have some higher stats. I don't know, but they both get dragons. So maybe I don't need any magic users, at least not yet. When do you get that? After constructing, okay, the dragon building. I get him. So I could get a second legendary lord if I rush that, but it's 8,000 gold. Now with the Gore Beast, I do get a good flanking unit. It can tear up a lot of infantry lines. And I get this, which can tear up some missile units. That is a siege attacker. These are pretty cheap, relatively cheap upkeep. Not as cheap as those. Those are kind of expensive actually, early on. That's a nice charge, but I mean 76, that's gonna mow some stuff down. If I cycle those correctly. That would be fun to try to micromanage those too. And the Hell Cannons, I think, are going to be pretty good against a lot of later game missile infantry. And that will give me the siege attacker trait, which is good. Because nothing else here is going to help me siege. This, okay, so I don't need the wizards. In other words, any wards that I'm going to hire are going to have magic. So I don't need the wizards. Those are just a waste of space. So the do I want Forsaken then? See, their movement, they have 48 move speed, which is good. Great. I mean, these are just so powerful early in the game. They don't have a lot of armor piercing, I don't think. No armor piercing. These are really, really good for a lot of different reasons. Sieging, they have, I mean, pretty good melee attack. I mean, they're not as good as like top end flying, like monstrous terror, massive units, but causing terror is very powerful in a lot of circumstances, and flying units are extremely strong if you have decent micromanagement with them. And these things are okay. I mean, they don't break, so they've got that going for them. So if I get into a region with really high replenishment, you know, these could be very good because they fight till the last unit. They have really high weapon strength. There's only 12 in the stack, but they're very cheap. Decent charge. I mean, 150 weapon. So they're really good against unarmored things, is what it seems like. Do they have Frenzy? They don't. They deal decent armor piercing, but 150 damage is a lot. I mean, these only deal 86. Those things really tear stuff up. Their melee attack is pretty garbage, though. They won't ever run, so they can't be scared of stuff. They only have 15 armor. They're going to get mowed down by a lot of things. These have 45 armor. But just want to be a baller, I could go for this and just start grabbing Forsaken. I think that's what I want to do. Just go for this real early game power spike, the Forsaken. I mean, these are really nice. And these are good too. you know, in terms of cycling charges. But these things just beat the daylights out of stuff if you position them correctly. They're really tough. They have great armor, great melee attack. I mean, their defense leaves a little bit to be desired, but they're just your meat and potatoes. Just get in there and just beat them up. And then it builds into manticores, which is something I want later in the game. It has 4,000 to build that, though. This is 750. How much? I can afford it right now, especially if I just go a single unit. I mean, these are just going to sit around. I mean, they have a lot of armor. Like, these are good tanking units, but like I said, I already have some of those. They are good tanking units, but they're just not going to deal out the same kind of damage, I don't think, as the Forsaken. These Aspiring Champions might. I mean, it's a 16 stack. They deal 44 damage. They do have the shields. They have really nice defense, but they're really slow. This would lower the cost of a lot of my army, so then I could just run, like, if I had this, I could run just like a huge army of Chaos Warriors. It's only going to be one more turn before, or like 4 turns before I can afford it. I just feel like I need a flanker, though. Sorry, I'm just kind of talking my way through this and just sort of figuring out what I want to do. It's really tough to decide. These manticores are so good, though. That's gonna, whichever one of these I pick, the other one's gonna cost 4, I'm pretty sure. So whichever one I pick has to be good for at least, you know, the mid game here, or the really early, kind of like early mid game. I just don't think I have enough utility with these guys. Like, they're just all really slow, beat down infantry units with no flanking ability. Like, they're going to get really tired and worn out. That. Okay, so let me think about it this way. What is my problem? What's going to beat me? Heavily armored stuff. These guys do not have armor piercing. I can get halberds, or great weapons. But they're really slow. So I'm going to get mowed down. And these don't have shields. So I'm going to get mowed down by like dwarf quarrelers and pistoliers and stuff like that. So these can run some things down and beat them up. These are like ultimate flankers. They don't have a lot of piercing, but they can be really annoying. They can fly over. They're really good at sieging. These are good at sieging. These will just beat the crap out of dwarves early on. I feel like they're going to beat the daylights out of a lot of different things. Because they're so strong, and I can just stack them up. If I get like 4 chariots, though, I can also mow over dwarves early on. Including quarrelers. I mean, quarrelers are the big threat early on with dwarves, and these could just mow some quarrelers. And the dwarves, Kraka Drak is who I really want to take out early on. These are just garbage in a siege, that's the problem. These would still be good in a siege, and they would hack through some dwarves, I'm pretty sure. Now, they don't have a lot of piercing damage, though. I think I'm going to try these out. It has an 80 charge bonus, that's a 76. Why are these better? They're way more expensive. More armor. These are way faster. Oh, these have piercing. Okay, so these only have 10 pierce. Oh. These have 32 pierce. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to do Forsaken. I think Forsaken will be good, and I want flying units. I want to try out these flying feral manticores. These can be okay. I could have sworn these had Siege Attacker before, but whatever. Sieging's going to suck. This is the only thing I could do to get a Siege Attack. other than like the dragon ogres, which are it's dragon ogres don't even have siege. Or what? How the heck do those not have siege attacker? Are you kidding me? It's a tier 4 unit. What is it that had siege? These. Anything over here have like nothing has siege, so it's basically the cannons and whatever. We're rushing Forsaken. We'll try it out. Okay. Sorry about that. I just had to deliberate. That's a pretty big decision. But I want to use them kind of like a poor man's cavalry. Like I said, and the manticores are something I'm definitely interested in later on. Even though they don't get a lot of upgrades from the tech tree. That's okay. Like I said, the rest of the episodes, once I figure out what I want to do and where I'm going, they'll be much, much faster. It's just, it's really hard to decide what I want to get here. Okay, so let's go. But these things are such, like the early game is the problem with Chaos. You can just get run over in the early game. And these things should be strong enough to push me through those legendary stats that the enemy's going to have. That's what I'm hoping. So we'll see. I never tried this because before you never got feral manticores. Okay. Now if they resettle that, I can go burn it again and get more growth. Okay, if I rate it, I get 7%. I get 700 extra gold, which is okay, but I just want to straight take it right now. We'll try to get into a good fight. I think beating up the humans is probably easier at this point than beating up the anyone else. Beating up the dwarves, for example. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Dark Soul is like the best little dude you can get. I said, I know a lot of people get a secondary ward as fast as possible, but I'm just saving all my growth, and I'm just trying to power up and just using, hoping to get a lot of Forsaken here. Can I actually, oh, I can still go into, okay, so after you sack, you can still go into recruitment stance, okay. Yeah, we're going hard in the paint here. I could also raid. Do I have enough for raiding stance? Okay, it's 50% to raid. Okay, so I can't raid. Alright, makes my decision easier. We'll do that. Yep, that. How long is that for? 6 turns. Now how much? Yeah, it's 4 if I want to do that now. So I probably want to upgrade this soon. As soon as I get to 4 growth. Now, of course, you can sit here and just keep auto-resolving if you want to keep gaining a bunch of levels. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just sacking once and then burning it the next time. But you could sit here and farm this every turn if you just wanted to power level up. Which is a viable strategy, but like I said, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to actually, you know, not game the system too much and just get my levels up on battles. But I've got to do that early on because I need the money and I need the growth. And I don't want them to come back and get me later, so I have to sack it and I have to burn it. And it doesn't let me do it on the same turn. So that's kind of worth it eventually. That's bad. Recruitment cost is okay, but hopefully we won't be recruiting that much. 9% for chaos. Yeah, that's not happening. What is this again? It's just for him. It's so weak. Okay. Keep going. Can't do anything else, I don't think. Nope. Alright, we'll keep rolling with it. Let's see if they'll pay us yet.
Why do you come to the frozen north?
No. Okay, so I need to go fighting.
Stop that.
Now, Shock Truckin' has... They don't have that much. Now they're hiring. So they're going to have 10... 18.
I have no time for this.
So they could have up to 20 units. I think we can take them. As long as another unit doesn't like show up there, I think we can do it. I don't want to get too close to them though. Now there might, I think they have another 20 sec that they could bring over to reinforce. I just want to, what do I get for this? Okay, attrition. Alright, one more of these. We're just, remember, we're kind of all in on these Forsaken early game. We just have to leverage that to really get some advantages. Alright, let's see if they reinforce that. If they don't reinforce it, I think we can fight them. It'll be like a 20 on 20. Or like, they might have 22. Dang it, of course, they reinforce. Come on, you cowards. This is why you need Lightning Strike. If I had Lightning Strike, it would still be hard, but yeah, that's too hardcore. So we're gonna have to go for Kislet again. Go ahead and raid this. I mean, I'm not gonna get anything, but I will complete that quest, unless the quest was removed. How much horde growth do I have? I don't have enough yet to do anything, I don't think. Now, I could have just gone for Chaos Warriors and then eventually go for Chaos Knights. Okay, we got a little bit of cash. So yeah, I don't know, to me... Okay, good. Excellent, that's what I was going to go do anyways. To me, it seems really hard to afford multiple armies right now. Like, you could afford, like, a bunch of Marauder armies, maybe?
Onward to destruction.
What the hell? Oh my gosh. Okay. I mean, I can't beat them until I get...
I'll ignore that.
Like, that's... Is that 320 stacks?
I will
No,
not
that guy's a
obey.
little bit less. Okay, so do I want to take 30 dwarves, or...
What?
It's hard times. I could run it up the middle here, maybe. God, I wish you could ambush. Whatever, let's run up to here and see if we can get someone to come and attack us. And if they do, we can run and then maybe counter-strike them. Okay, they're over there. Okay, yeah. So we might be able to counter-strike them. Seriously, y'all going three-way, huh? So let me see what they have. Bunch of Pistoliers. I can hopefully neutralize those with like a couple of stacks of Chaos Warriors. The Hounds can tear these up. The Forsaken should be able to just mow these down. Yeah, we just have way more armor, way more, a lot of stuff. But that's so many. We're obviously running this time, but we're just checking them out. Okay, so they each have about 4 or 5 Pistoliers. I mean, I think we can beat those armies. Like 2 of them, but not 3. Okay. Okay, one of them's running back. Okay, we might be able to pick that army off. Is this the small one? That's a big one. I think that's their legendary.
You have my favor. The Northmen.
No, we're military allies.
Are you a god?
They just don't have a lot yet.
I am a rune lord, not some smith.
Now, the safer option might even be go pick off Kraka Drak if they're not trying to ambush me. Which they could be. Okay, so can I beat these dwarves?
I have no time for this.
He dashed over here. Like, he's not going to get reinforced as much. The other guy only had 16 units. Maybe the other guy had 20. I can't remember.
No.
If I attack this guy's certainly going to run probably to here. He might even run to here. And then if I follow him, he might get reinforced. If I beat him, can I beat the next stack of 20? A lot of it depends on how well I fight, but... Dwarfs are humans. Now these guys, like I said, they have less armies, I think. I don't know all their units, but it's just going to be a bunch of Dwarf Warriors and Quarrelers. Dwarfs are harder in the early game, I think, than these guys, but these guys have... Pistoliers have 24 ammo, which is pretty annoying. That's a lot to have to soak up. Like, the Silver Shield Chaos Warriors can soak a lot, but...
I am a rune lord,
I feel like it's easier, it would be easier to attack the dwarves here. These guys might actually come in and attack them, or they might attack these guys and weaken themselves. Then we'll go for the dwarves. I could get ambushed here also, but... No. Oh, Varg's over there. Okay, Varg's coming to kill me now. Interesting. Alright, so this is our good fight of the episode. So we gotta be ready for Varg here in a second. I'm gonna actually fight it. I'm gonna lose more, almost certainly, than this is suggesting. But that's just what I'm going to do in this campaign. We're going to fight fights, even though auto-resolve would be more helpful. We're going to fight real fights, even though we'll probably take more casualties, and it makes the campaign a lot harder, it makes it longer, but I think people like to see fights, so we're going to actually fight real fights. I have lost 1%ers before. I have won 1%ers before, where the auto-resolve system is saying you only have a 1% chance to win. Or they only have a 1% chance to win. So, we'll give it a whirl here. Alright, so we did get one dwarf army. We've got to power through Varg. Varg just runs right past the dwarves, no problem, and they just come to mess with you. And they love to ambush, I'm pretty sure. But you can't ambush, so... Alright, so these are my bread and butter units. I should have just gotten rid of these Marauder Horsemen. That's just not what I'm doing. Okay, so those are my meat shields. These are my flank. These are like my little mini cavalry. And I'll put this guy in with the mini cav. Who do I need to hit? I need to hit the Gorlers probably. How far? Try to fan out. Bolt throwers, man, they hurt. I need to run up here and just try to like just run through. Well, I don't want the... I just want to freak them out a little bit just so they move and stop firing. But I don't want the Quarrelers to like shoot at me, so let's try to flank around here. Anytime you get the dwarves to like wheel or reposition, it's a win. No, not them. Not whoa, definitely not them. Nope, 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 nope. I need to hang out in the back. Flankers, hang out in the back. Let's go ahead and start this way. Do not want them hitting my chaos spawn with those missile units. There we go. Yeah, fire on those silver shields. That's fine. Hopefully this doesn't hit my own units. We'll see. Yeah, hit my own unit. Or hit the hit the ground there. I wasn't sure if that could hit my own units or not. You'd think I'd know that by this time, but I think those direct target, direct damage spells usually don't hit your own units that much. Who's running? Oh, this little... Yeah, so we're just overwhelming that one flank on the side over here. Just flank around. Yeah, so as you can see, wherever these guys go, these little Forsaken, they just completely shatter people from behind. So I like that. I mean, the Chaos Warriors are great tanks, but these Forsaken are just extremely good damage dealers. Infantry on infantry. Alright, massacre them. I don't think they're going to get to run again, but we'll just go ahead and see how many we can kill. They don't have a ton of armor piercing, so that's important to keep in mind, but against like just kind of your tier 1 early infantry units, they're still good. And I mean, they still are pretty good against armor. Like, they're not going to beat your top end great swords and stuff probably, but they're pretty dang good. Each unit that you kill, I think, gives you a little bit more in ransom at the end. Everyone that you capture / kill. And I really want to kill this Lord, too. We'll go ahead and speed it up, though. So, my guys soaked a lot of the missiles coming in. I probably should not have put my chosen halberds up there to soak missiles because they don't have shields. Shields are very important. Get Archaon in there to finish this little dwarf off. Show him who's boss. Get that flaming sword in there. Yeah. There we go. Got him. Okay. Yeah, look at that. 183 kills. 138. It just, these two units just massacred. Those were the first two to get to him, probably. Everyone else was just dead by the time they even got there. Not bad, right? For a little small infantry unit. Those things are strong as heck in multiplayer, back when I played multiplayer last year. The Chaos was still really underpowered in multiplayer, just to be clear, but that was like their one saving grace for those Forsaken were so strong. I have to have money. Okay, good, we got him. Especially because I'm going for the Rush to Lightning Strike build. I'm not going to get this Chaos Vanguard, at least for a little bit. I mean, the reason in the past why I didn't get the Forsakens, they have like no upgrades on anything. They're just really strong base damage. But the fact that I'm going so deep in the utility tree, it allows me to, you know, those Forsaken allow me to do this because they have enough power by themselves. They don't need as many upgrades. So eventually we'll probably go over to Freakish Mutations and try. Now they might count as Monstrous Infantry. I don't know. I don't know if they do or not. It doesn't say they're I mean, they look monstrous, but I don't think they count as Monstrous Infantry because there's so many of them in a stack. I think they're just normal infantry. Whereas the like Monstrous Infantry is usually like 24 tops, like 24 units tops. Okay, what else do we want to do this turn? I guess we can just. What's here? 20 stack. There's nowhere I can really go to replenish too. That's what sucks. I have to be like in friendly territory to replenish. So I want to go capitalize on this and kill Kraka Drak, but I can't really recruit this turn. Do I just say whatever, come get me? Maybe that's what I do. Just say whatever, come get it, and just kill them, because I need to bum rush something here. I can't just sit back or they all just end up collapsing on you and killing you. Like, you have to get aggressive. Okay, I think that's going to be it for this episode. Let me see how long it's taken. Hopefully not too long. Okay, pretty long. But I'll try to keep the rest of them to an hour. Like I said, the first little bit is me deliberating, like trying to see which strategy I want to use. And I like to talk my way through it too. Like, I could try to figure that out before I film it. And I have done some background research, but just I kind of discover stuff as I play. I don't have a lot of experience with Chaos. I've played a lot of the other factions, every other faction actually. So I'm just kind of talking my way through it, and I hope you enjoy that too. And I like talking about the deep strategy and just walking you through the options, so that way if you don't want to rush Forsaken, you can see my argument for why you might want to go Gore Beast, or why you might want to just get Chaos Warriors, or just save everything and go for Chaos Knights, or you know, split up and get a second army early on and just go for a bunch of Marauders, so you have 220 stacks of Marauders instead of one stack of you know, Chaos Warriors plus Forsaken. And if you did that, then you could go for Rush that Marauder instead of Lightning Strike build the Marauder upgrades, and maybe just overwhelm people with numbers like that. So there's a lot of different strategies you can use, so I like walking through all that. But anyways, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful evening.